All right, guys, we're at the Vintage Non-Sports auction. Let's take a look at the top 25 sales. Also show you some of the other cards in this auction. I did win about $2,000 worth items, or 2,500. Didn't go crazy on the auction just because the National is coming up. But yeah, so let's jump right into it. None of my cards I purchased were in the first page. The first is one of the big four tough cards to find in this N9 set, Romania. This is a 3.5, but one of the toughest out there to find, as I mentioned, one of the big four in the set. And you barely see Romania populate in comparison to Korea or the second variation of the Britain flag. And this one over here sold for $1,600. What I will say, very, very clean 3.5. I wouldn't have predicted this price point, to be honest with you. I know they are expensive, but I did not know it was $1,500 plus expensive. All right, probably right about comps on this one, which is a 2.5 of Edgar Allan Poe. I used to actually have I want to say I had a 2.5 at one point. I sold in a one copy of this card. I've sold a two copy. My personal copy is an SGC 4.5. So I paid like $350 for my 4.5. I thought that was a lot a few years ago. Obviously, with this price over here, I'm thrilled with it. And like I've seen some other two comps of this sell for about $1,500. I think this is a very generous 2.5 with that big crease right over here through the face. My personal opinion, though. All right, this is the first one I'm not too familiar with. Let's take a look at this one over here. N406 Marburg 10-minute cigarette. Actors and actresses. Jefferson as Rip Van Winkle. I don't know this at all. And, you know, I'm not ashamed to say that because you're not going to know everything about non-sports. So obviously people did. And this one sold for $1,668. These N400s can be very tough to find. So maybe it's just one of those sets that are just like impossible to find someone in their type collection, or this is the hardest one to find in that set. If you know a little bit more, please let me know because I'm just not aware of it. I wouldn't spend more than like $50 on this card. I probably wouldn't even spend $50 on this card, to be honest with you. All right, something I am a little bit more familiar with, and we're going to keep moving forward. N114 near set 45 of 50. Now there are some bigger names in here. I believe Stonewall Jackson is in the set. You also have Lee in here. You have Sherman in here. Now, I don't know if they're missing on here. That is one thing I wish they mentioned, is like who is missing. We'll take a look at some of these over here. And even some of the smaller names, they don't sell that often, so they are kind of expensive. But I think this is a pretty good buy. I mean, you're looking at like less than $40 a card on these. There is the Lee right there, which probably what, a $300 card. Jackson also $300 card. So if you really factor that in, you're already at $6. Grant's in there, another $300 card. So you're looking at $800 for like 42 cards, so like $20 a card. So fantastic buy in my personal opinion for someone who wanted to split up the set. Even if they were trying to build the full set, I think that was a good buy at that price point. All right, another thing I'm pretty familiar with, the Poor Boys. And I think this was an amazing buy for the price. I probably should have bid on this because here's the deal, right? This Edgar Allan Poe is like a $300 to $400 card in this shape. This Edison, again, $300 to $400 card minimum. So that's already $8. Sullivan is another $300 card. So you're looking at $11. And you still have 42 booklets left. And there is other bigger names in here. Just going through over here, like Stanford, right? Stanford University. So that's another like $50 to $100 card, depending on the shape of it. Who else is over here? A lot of the lower names sell for like 20 to $30 a piece. Vandy is a little bit more expensive on there. Another one that's like $50 to $100, depending on their shape. You have Cornell, and yeah, I mean, there's other names in there, but it's missing the Twain, but still, I think it's a pretty good buy for the price point. And I do like the backs of these. And if you're not familiar with them, they are small miniature booklets. Buffalo Bill is also in the set. It does include Buffalo Bill, it says, and as well as Barnum in there. Kilrain. Is Twain in there? I must have missed it. 5 missing booklets. Buffalo Bill, big name, Carnegie. Yep. Twain's missing. So there you go. Still, big names were in there, which is pretty not bad. Two threes in this over here. So we have N76 Edison. This sold for 18, which I felt was a little cheap based off of some recent sales. Same with this Washington, although this Washington does have a pretty big stain here on the back and some damage. Yeah, I think this three went a little cheap based off of recent comps, but still pretty strong in comparison to where they were a few years ago, right? So we have both of those. We'll take a look at what's next. Amazing T90 cigarettes, nature lot of cards, 38 mounted an album. Again, I'm not familiar with these. So it looks like they're 3D. They have like feathers on these cards. Then you have these also over here. It's interesting. Look at that, Tampa. I don't know. Like, obviously people know a lot about these. I personally don't. So these would have to be the holy grail piece for bird collectors. I gotta do some research on it. I gotta send this to a few people. All right, so there's that. Another card I'm generally not familiar with, F2841 Explorers of America. All right, actually I am familiar with this set because this had the Lewis and Clark I bid on last time and I just did not win it. Pirates are very popular right now. I assume that's what Cabot is. Ah. So Cabot visited America first. 1497. Or that's what the back says on that. I do like this set. I want to learn a lot more about this set. I haven't seen these really graded either. But really, really pricey. I guess I should have known that based off of Lewis and Clark. Or I just expect Lewis and Clark to be expensive. What was next? This Lincoln? Yeah, so this Lincoln 1.5, I mean, $2,000. Has like pen writing here on the back, but honestly, it's not too bad off the front eye appeal on that. We'll close this out over here. We have a Barrett lot. There's actually quite a few collectors going after this set, and this one actually did not sell. You can see $0, so no bids on that. All right, we'll go into the N309s. So N309s, complete set of presidents with different backs and variations. This is really, really cool because a lot of these are really rare. Like I don't see these that often with the cigars. And you can see the back on there. Really, really sweet. On that side of things, and this sold for $23.76, which honestly isn't a bad price. Again, I guess the Lincoln is a non-cigar. I assume that's the Lincoln there. Yeah. Too bad Lincoln wasn't a cigar. It'd be a way more expensive lot. And the same with the Grant, right? Grant is just to the consumer copy on that side of things. But still, I mean, do like this a lot on this side of things. You have Washington and you also have Jefferson with those cigars. So I don't know what type of premium you want to put on that, but there has to be some sort of premium. This was under my watch list. I was going to look at this for like a ComC type stuff, but it went for more than I wanted, $2,800. So I was looking at it maybe like $30 or $40 a card. Obviously, I don't know Superman as well as other people, so that's why it sold for so much. All right, another Lincoln over here. This is an A3, and that one it sold for $3,094. Nice looking 3 here on the front. Pretty nice on the back too. I'm kind of shocked this got a 3 in comparison to some of the other 3s. I think this has a chance out of 4 if you resubmit it. All right, airplanes and aviators lot are 8330. Man, I said that really bad. Who's in here? So you have Red Wing. I'm not too familiar with this set, to be honest with you guys. You have Lindbergh in there, Bird. I mean, they look mint, a lot of them. Some of them have small creases and stuff like that. I guess it's just a rare set, and that's why these went for so much. All right. 51 Bowman Jets, Rockets, and Spacemen. High grade set. with extension set. This one sold for $36.08. You guys can take a look at all those images if you want. Another card I was going to bid on, I had no shot at it. Blackbeard in a 4. Should have bought this card a long time ago. I can't afford that. $36.08 in a 4. Beautiful card though. Like I said, I definitely want to grab one eventually. All right. We have over here Declaration of Independence, another card that just has gone really expensive over the last few years. I mean, it's always been a popular card, but it just continually increases in price. I mean, for a 2, you're looking at $4,000 now. Those are insane. Superman 2.5, about market rate, right? A nice looking 2.5. Oh, I guess a little bit of corner wear on there. 2s to 3s, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 range, depending on the eye appeal. All right. Gaudi full set, 216 cards. This one sold for 43. So I guess it really depends on like how these look. Some of these are probably low grade, and there's variations and stuff like that too. Tons of them, and I don't know them all, but I figured if there are, they would mention it right over there. All right. I actually wanted to bid on this. I didn't. And 332 cards in an album. I thought this was really nice. Now, I don't know the condition on all these cards. Like, are they adhered in, or are they just like put in with these on here? But some of these look very, very nice. What you have over here, you have the Cody. It's a pretty expensive card on that side of things. Some of these cities and high grades can be quite expensive too. Really, the star, you'll see it in a little bit. There's one card in here that's like $500 plus. You have Hancock also, that's another $300, $400 card based off of the condition. Again, I don't know if these have paper loss or not, just based off of how they're adhered into on this side of things. You also have this triple, which now $1,000 alone. So like, just look at the price rate. This sold for 43. This is 1,000 no matter what, right? So you're looking at 1,000 there, right? Let's say this is 300 no matter what. You're at 13. Then between Bowie knife and Boston, I mean, you're at least at another $100 there. 14, $50, we'll say, between these 3 flags. Again, I'm lowballing it. You're at 15. The Cody, as well as the second series, these look pretty nice. The Cody is going to be at least a couple $100. That's like $2,000. This, let's say $100, 21. And again, I'm very low. There's still a lot of other stuff, right? And then jumping in over here, who do you have? You have Lee. Let's say that's another $300-400, right? You're at 24. And then didn't even get into the card that I like in here. I'm curious who won this lot. Any of these big names? No. And I'll tell you, like, I didn't even see the triple Washington on here when I looked, which is kind of sad. I was going through so fast on these lots. Who is over here? I don't know why it's not zooming in for me. Leaders isn't a big name. These old judges are expensive. Very, very expensive. Baseball players taken out. That's a shame. I don't know what the going rate of the old judges though are. Jockey, that's $100 right over here. Actor, that's another $50. Ooh. The boxers. I missed that too. These are at least $300 to $500 a piece too. You're already looking way over $3,000. Who do we have over here? These are expensive, even bad shape. T36s. That's at least a $30, $40 card. These are nice. These are the premiums. Oh man, I really should have bid on this. Look at this. Jack Johnson, $100, $200 minimum. T206. We don't know the back unless it mentions it. That's a T12. Oh, that's not even a T206. I apologize. We have a T205 over there. A Fatima. Which Fatima is that? The Philadelphia Nationals. I can't remember if that's one of the better ones or not. Yikes. Pretty good lot. I don't care too much about these over here. They're just commons. What I wanted this lot for is the Duke right over here. This was really nice. I don't think the cards were actually glued in. Man, this was a great buy. 4,300 bucks. I think there's a lot of value on that side of things, especially if they can grade. Oh man, I probably should have bought or tried to buy that. It happens though. Can't look at everything. 54 scoops, 72 graded cards, 6.47 GPA. I mean, nothing really to say there. How do you go from that book into scoops? Marburg. I saw there was a Grant that sold on eBay. Same with a Lincoln. I didn't bid on those. I think this is a very generous 5 though, but I think these are really great cards. 48. This was a lot of people are talking about this. I mean, this is kind of unexpected in a 7. $5,200. Really, really crazy price for Custer. And it's a tough card, but $5,200 tough. I don't know. And here's this A16 Allen Ginter collection of 32. Oh, it's 32 albums. Wow, that feels like a steal. 32 albums for $6,300. I mean, that's under $200 an album. I feel like that's a great buy. I don't know. If you want any of these top 25, let me know. Let's take a look at some of the other pages. This John Quincy Adams is pretty cool. These N15s are very, very tough. What else is over here? I bid on this lot. I lost. I bid like $40 a card. Jefferson 4 sold for that. I have it in a PSA 4, so that's not too bad. Where else are we over here? That's not bad either. 33 cards for $833. Who's in that lot though? Another 10 for $833. Take a look at those lots here a second. I lost this bid. 1.5. That went very cheap. Same with this N15. I think this Washington went cheap. I would have thought it went for like 12 to 13. I guess a lot of these have paper loss and stuff like that. Any big names in here? Not really. This has Scott Key. Assume that's a clean back on the Scott Key, which isn't too bad because that's starting to get an expensive card. Should have bought one a while ago. And 309, another lot of these. Who is in that lot? I always think these are pretty cool, the uncut sheets. I underbidder on that too. I won this one over here, the Kinneys. I thought this was really cool too. Samsonette Chiefs. These are very, very tough. I covered it actually in an article once for Tops, but they didn't publish that article. Also bid on these over here. Lost on that. I bid $40 a card. I was the underbidder. Let's take a look. Okay. No link in there. Yeah, I mean, I bought this at 7 and we overpaid. But it had the Washington in there. It had the Lee. I figured Washington and Lee, both of those are, $300-$400. So, you're looking at 6. Grant's at least $100. That's 7. I mean, the price of the lot was there. You have all the commons. Some of these aren't commons, right? Like Alexander the Great. And some of these may look trimmed. Can't tell for sure. And you can take a look at the backs. But really, it's just like, I bought it for these two. I actually won all the Kinney lots. I was kind of surprised. Here's some canceled ones. That means you had to have the set redeemed. So I think this is pretty cool. Nice piece of history, right? Not a lot of people appreciate that, but I do at least. What else do we have over here? We'll go through one more page. I mean, this is a pretty early Roosevelt. That's not a bad price, $560 on that copy. Praying Grant, 530. Pulitzer, I want to grab one of these one day. Sold for 500. American Eagle, Lincoln, $500. Probably about right. One more page. Pratt, this didn't get any bids, which is interesting. Houdini, 1920s, $500. I think I was the underbidder on that. And yeah, we'll call it a video right over here. Let me know what you guys want. You'll see my mill day video once I have that going. I thought this was an interesting lot. I didn't know if there's any huge cards in here. A lot of this stuff out of South America for non-sports is not documented at all. So it's hard to say, right? If you did win this, or if you know if there's any huge cards in here, please let me know. I do have a Houdini out of South America. Well, out of Cuba, really. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's in some of these other sets. He's not in this one that's over here. But, I mean, he could be, and I missed it. But I'm sure there's some pretty big cards if this fetched, $428. Or someone's just going to put them all in their bargain bin and sell it out that way. Which I wouldn't say is a bad idea. Or ComC or whatever else. Either way, thank you guys for watching this video. And if you're going to be at the National, we're doing a non-sports meetup. So I probably should have said that in the beginning of the video. But regardless, we'll be doing that. So anyways, I will catch you guys in another video. See ya.